It is the season of alignments and realignments politically, with claims that President Uhuru Kenyatta has assured of his support to the NASA coalition 13 months to the 2022 polls. His remarks come in days after ODM leader Raila Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka hinted at working together again for 2022. ANC's Musalia Mudavadi says there is a trust deficit in the coalition. Tonight on Pandit's Night, we interrogate coalitions and the 2022 interest. Good evening, but first, these are the stories making headlines tonight.
All candidates in the 6 elective positions come the next general election must have a university degree.
Aspirants in every elective position will be required to have at least a degree, IEBC says. President Uhuru Kenyatta maintains he will not appoint the 6 judges who were left out in the recent appointment. And counties are broke.
Out of the verified pending bills by Office of the Auditor General, county governments have outstanding eligible pending bills amounting to 11.5 billion.
The devolved units have now threatened to shut down services over delay in the disbursement of funds. Mini Mbesa is our sign language interpreter. Good evening, I'm Abubakar Abdullahi. Welcome to the broadcast. To our top story tonight, and with less than 13 months to the 2022 general election, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, has begun planning for the polls. Days after the High Court gave the electoral body the green light to prepare for 2022. But as aspirants forge ahead with their unofficial campaigns, those without an undergraduate degree may find themselves locked out of the race, as IEBC Chair Wafula Chebukati hints at a possible crackdown on fake degrees ahead of 2022. Musa Salah begins our broadcast tonight.
IEBC Acting CEO, Mr. Marijan Hussein Marijan.
As the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC selection panel prepares to interview the 36 shortlisted candidates to fill the 4 vacant commissioners' position, IEBC plans to crack the whip on 2022 aspirants as the electoral body prepares for the general election next year.
My safety. What will happen?
Those planning to vie for various positions, including the members of County Assembly, will now be forced to go back to campus for their undergraduate degrees, with the polls just 13 months away.
If you look at Section 22 of the Elections Act, that all candidates in the 6 elective positions come the next general election must have a university degree to be able to qualify to run for office.
While the Elections Act of 2011 had prescribed a degree for aspirants, politicians successfully petitioned the court to stop the implementation of the requirement in the subsequent elections of 2013. But the cover lapsed with the passage of the Election Laws Amendment Act of 2017. According to the Kenya National Qualifications Authority, a third of Kenyans have fake academic documents, sparking the pact between the authority, IEBC, and the Commission for University Education to verify and validate degrees before issuing clearance certificates to nominated candidates in 2022.
All qualifications will be verified, and we shall provide a framework to the country how this will be done, so that all those degree certificates will be validated before they are presented by the candidates.
IEBC has also launched the annual Voter Education Week, a 7-day exercise that aims to sensitize the public on electoral processes, in which IEBC also targets to register at least 5 million new voters, adding to the existing 19.68 million registered voters as of 2017.
This is time when voters need to be enlightened on their responsibility as voters, as citizens.
And all the commission offices across the country will be more than happy to engage with Kenyans to educate them on matters elections.
Such elections, those that are free, fair and credible and accepted by all parties, will be essential to avoid violence in 2022. No right-minded person wants to see a repeat of the events of 2007 to 2008.
With about 13 months left to the 2022 general election, the IEBC targets about 5 million new voters in a mass registration exercise expected to begin once the National Treasury releases 14.5 billion shillings budgetary allocation to the Commission. Musa Salah, TV47, Nairobi.
Moving on, counties might be forced to shut down from next week due to lack of funds to run operations. The Council of Governors says Treasury is yet to release 102.6 billion shillings to the 47 devolved units. The county bosses say that they are unable to deliver with operations that the counties already crippled. The financial year ends in 2 weeks.
Out of the verified pending bills by Office of the Auditor General, county governments have outstanding eligible pending bills amounting to 11.5 billion. If the National Treasury releases the resources outstanding, county governments will be able to clear most of the eligible pending bills. There's 16 days remaining to the closure of this financial year. In this regard, the National Treasury should release these funds by 18th June 2020. By Friday this week. These will over counties the remaining 8 working days. Only 8 working days.
Sisi hatujapata pesa kutoka Treasury. Kama Kirinyaga sisi tujapata pesa ya March, tujapata pesa ya April, tujapata ya May na sasa tuko June. Hata ukiangalia sijui mshahara tutalipa na nini mwezi huu. Na pia tuko na lot of pending bills ambazo bado hatujalipa kazi ambazo zinaendelea kwa county. Kwa hivyo tunaomba sana serikali kuu iharakishe na itutumie pesa kabla mwezi ujaisha, kwa sababu financial year inaisha mwezi huu. Na ikipita tutapoteza zile pesa zetu ziko katika budget ya recurrent. Kwa hivyo tunawaomba sana hata wasifikishe tarehe 20 wafanye haraka.
Now, as the world marks Blood Donation Day, there is a blood deficiency in many hospitals as many Kenyans shun away from donating blood. In Baringo, for example, blood banks are running empty, as Mike Kagwongo tells us now.
In Marigat Sub-County Hospital, Baringo South, there is a crisis at the hospital. The blood bank is empty. This leaving those seeking blood in pain of being transferred to Nakuru or Eldoret.
In most cases, when people have not donated blood, we don't have blood in the blood bank, we have to keep on referring patients who would have benefited if blood was in our facility.
Marigat Sub-County Hospital is one of the main referral hospitals that handle survivors of bandit attacks and malaria victims who succumb due to lack of blood.
They experience gunshot wounds, sometimes it's cuts, some may even be having even some organs damaged. So you'll find that they lose quite large amounts of blood.
According to the hospital administrator Philip Kamau, many people shun from donating blood for fear of being diagnosed with underlying infections.
Some people fear that the bloods will be tested for diseases, but this is what we are trying to talk to them so that at least they can understand the logic behind blood transfusion.
He called on locals to embrace blood donation in a bid to ensure lives are saved in case of emergency.
It's very wanting because we really need a lot of blood, and if you get the cases that we get, we need at least to make sure that the patient is managed in an ideal setting.
And we want to urge the county government of Baringo to improve on that, even if the resources are minimal, but they should scale where there is insecurity, like Marigat sub-county hospital should be a base of storage of this blood and maybe they can prepare in the coming months.
The Ministry of Health launched the World Blood Donor Day National Blood Drive at UHURU Park in Nairobi County.
It is important that even as we drive the reforms, that we have got corresponding guidelines and government policies that guide how we now manage our blood, particularly recognizing that there's a lot of emergent issues. And so policies must continue to speak to the issues as they emerge. And I'm happy to know that we have developed our policies. We have got guidelines and circulars that are all meant to really steer forward the reforms that we have begun.
For TV 47, I'm Mike Kagwamba.
Moving on, police officers in Kericho County are investigating the murder of two brothers who were found laying in a pool of blood at Kipwastuyo village. It is reported that the two bodies had injuries that could have been inflicted using a hammer.
26-year-old Willie Mutai and 45-year-old Johanna Mutai's bodies were discovered by their sister lying unconscious in a pool of blood. It is suspected that the two brothers were attacked using a hammer at Kipwatuyo village in Kericho County. Police have begun investigations into the incident that took place on Sunday night.
And they went to the house of one of the brothers by the name of Mutai, and in there they found that there was a struggle the way the scene looked, because there was blood that was found in that house. And on inspection of the bodies, it was realized that these two brothers were injured by whoever it was using blunt objects. So they had injuries on their heads and neck.
Elsewhere, a Form 3 student at Kapchelanga Secondary School has been arrested for allegedly killing his father. It is said that the student accused his father of selling his 6 chicken.
The son woke up and confronted the father. During that confrontation, he assaulted the father, hit him several times with a club fixed with a nut. So out of that, or due to that, the father became unconscious and he was rushed to hospital where he died.
Meanwhile, a Form 3 student from Ainamoi Secondary School who supposedly attacked his principal by driving a nail in his head has been arrested. The student, who has been on the run since Thursday last week, surrendered himself at Kapsoit Police Station. Sharon Baranga, TV 47.
Thank you, Sharon Baranga, for that report. You are watching TV 47 News Tonight. Keep talking to us. Send us a message on 22047. Time for us to take a short break. Stay with us. We'll be back with more after this break.
You are watching TV 47, the home of Untold Stories.
Raukia siku njema na tunukiwa offers kila siku. Pata offers zote mahali pamoja ili uongeze zaidi, utume SMS zaidi na ubrowse zaidi.
Wewe usijali, tuma namba ya kila supplier kwa hiyo soko. Nitajua nitaongea na kila mmoja wao.
Very good. Piga *444 utunukiwe Credo double.
Raukia siku njema na tunukiwa offers kila siku.
Hi, my name is DJ Protege, aka The Life of the Party. I've been in Simasako for the last 7 or 8 years. It's a true definition of growing with your partner. Well, I've taken up the loan facility as well as the saving facility. So I have a monthly contribution and also bought shares in the Sako. I started off slowly with small money, but now my savings have really grown, so it has really opened so many doors for me. As you can see, I bought equipment with it. It's helped me a lot in terms of paying for school fees. So the one thing I can tell people out there is that Simasako, with them, it's true to what they say. Anyone else out there who's expecting to actually have their money work for them, to actually try out Simasako.
We are Stima Sacco, a true reflection of you.
New Blue Band Peanut Butter. Made with 100% pure peanuts. And a good source of omega-6. Grow healthy and happy kids with New Blue Band Peanut Butter.
Hey! Kaluma King Herbal Lozenges zinazo nguvu maradufu kutuliza kikohozi, vidonda vya koo na mafua. Kaluma King ni shwari.
Chika mama huyo muharifu kaiba kuku zangu, vifaranga wangu na mayai zote pia kabeba. Haya, chika mama huyo.
Maumivu yakizidi, muone daktari.
New Pepsodent Herbal. Introducing a unique combination of herbal extracts in an antibacterial toothpaste for strong teeth and healthy gums that protects your family and you. Every smile matters.
Mimi sipendi unapanguza flow. Hiyo dust uache hapa kwa meza. Clean up. This is a problem, eh? Next time, uende ununue selector yako, utengeneze sandwich zako, uachane na sandwich za boss.
Selector. The difference is in the taste.
Authentic. Natural. Planned. Transforming. Endless benefits. Slaty, purely Kenyan. Buy now on Jumia or Amazon.
You are watching TV 47, the home of untold stories.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Let's get to more news now. And President Uhuru Kenyatta has maintained that he will not appoint the 6 judges who were omitted during the recent appointment. President Kenyatta maintains that the 6 had integrity issues that were raised but ignored by the then Chief Justice David Maraga. Paul KIRUBI has more.
Our transgressions less than, may they be impactful, may they be deliberations here.
Just days after President Uhuru Kenyatta omitted 6 judges in the recent appointment of judges, President Kenyatta still holds that he will not appoint the 6. Sources from a meeting between the president and leaders from Ukambani region indicate that President Kenyatta says there were integrity issues raised about Justices Joel Ngugi, George Odunga, Weldon Korir and Aggrey Muchelule, who had been recommended for the appointment by the Judicial Service Commission, JSC. President Kenyatta says the issues were raised to the then Chief Justice David Maraga, who was heading the Judicial Service Commission, but they were ignored. President Kenyatta insists that Maraga's position was for the appointment of all the 41 judges or none.
With unfailing integrity and commitment, let your actions and decisions be guided slowly on unbiased and faithful application of the Constitution and our written laws, our principles and values as a nation, and the overriding interests of justice.
Chief Justice Martha Koome recently reiterated her call for the 6 judges omitted from the list of those gazetted to be appointed.
Bias, affection, ill will.
President Kenyatta was speaking during a meeting with leaders from Ukambani region, where he reiterated a united nation.
I have done much more than I was able to do even in my first term. Why? Because I have been able to focus myself, working in conjunction with my colleagues, and being able to focus on the development agenda, not the political agenda. It is not about where you are.
President Kenyatta is set to start his tour to the Ukambani region on June 28th and 29th. The president will be in Machakos and Makueni on June 28th and Kitui on June 29th. Earlier during the day, Ukambani leaders led by Kalonzo Musyoka held a consultative meeting. Paul KIRUBI, TV47, Nairobi.
Moving on, the recent laws aimed at safeguarding potato farmers across the country continue to draw opposition from a section of farmers and vendors at Soko Mjinga Market. The farmers held a peaceful protest today, claiming that the laws are punitive. The laws, among other things, require farmers to clean the potatoes before they are taken to the market.
Ni kweli. Shida ingine imeguza mkulima. Radio ndio wako hasa tutikagio haki. Kutoka msika na maichama.
Viazi uoshe, viazi upime kilo 50, mkulima akupe license, gari iwe na license, broker mwenye anakushonea viazi awe na license. Tunaona viazi imewekewa sheria mzito ambaye hawezi epuka kati ya hizo.
It should be known very clearly that we are not going to relent in enforcing what is protecting the Kenyan citizen, especially the Irish potato farmer.
Lazima mimi nikuwe na store, niandikishe niko na store kwa boma langu. Hiyo mimi sitafuata hiyo.
Tusafishe viazi, tulete viazi ikiwa imesafishwa. Ukioja viazi saa hii, uipike jiani, unasikia haina utamu, na hiyo ni umepika na mafuta, deep frying. Je, hii itaoshwa, iende ikae siku 3 siku 2, alafu iuze itakuwa nini?
Wakati sheria hizo zingekuwa zikitungwa, wao wenyewe wangetoa sheria ambazo hasingemsukuma mkulima ama mnunuzi.
Moving on, businessman KIRUBI has died after a long battle with cancer. Former Game MP JAKOYO MIDIWO has also died at a Nairobi hospital. KIRUBI, who was 80, died at his home at 1 p.m. after a long battle with cancer, according to his family. Earlier this morning, KIRUBI tweeted, and I quote, "Top of the morning to you, my dear friends. It does not have to be a tiring Monday. Instead, I bring to you good tidings of favor, success, achievements, and happiness in the new week." Meanwhile, former Game MP JAKOYO MIDIWO is dead also. MIDIWO died this evening, according to his family. President UHURU KENYATTA and his Deputy President William Ruto and ODM leader Raila Odinga have led Kenyans in mourning the two.